Hello and welcome to Business Sense. I'm Ralph Rivas. For today's episode, we have Vin Perez, Ninja Van Philippines country head, to talk about the state of the logistics industry, expansion plans, and, well, all things business. Now, welcome to the show, Vin. Now, you were appointed as the country head of Ninja Van. Officially, we heard of it just this year.
Yeah.
And before that, you were COO. So, how's the leadership role, the new role? And actually, we had Martin just a couple of years ago here on the show.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. The past year or so has been a roller coaster, I think, for a lot of companies, and not just in the Philippines, but globally, really, the macroeconomic situations, forcing a lot of adjustments across companies of all sizes, even the bigger tech companies. It's been, I guess, long story short, a very challenging, but at the same time, fulfilling past year.
What would you consider as the most challenging? Ano ba? Inflation? The cost? Is that the main factor? Kasi yun yung pinag-uusapan.
Yes, they're all very much connected. And personally, me, I was studying all these things, all these concepts before, but experiencing it firsthand, seeing how inflation is hitting customer demand, lowering the actual orders, actual parcels that were delivered, and then at the same time hitting us, squeezing us on the cost side. They're all interconnected, and it really forced our team to innovate.
And now, you were COO and now country head. What's the difference ba? What's the shift? And did Martin share any tips before him?
Definitely. Martin and I are very good friends. We still hang out quite a fair bit. We talk a lot. He shared a lot, definitely. I learned a lot from him. And at the same time, the shift, it's interesting for me personally also, because coming from COO, working a lot with Martin back then, I felt that I was front and center of all the problems. I can see the problems that the entire company was dealing with. At least I thought I was bearing the brunt of it. But once you really take the helm,
there's more.
There's more, and also it's really a different thing when you're there, and you have to be the one accountable for everything that happens, really. So I guess that was a big shift. I know it sounds obvious, but I guess feeling it and being in there is really quite something.
Yeah, let's talk about the overview first, like the position of Ninja Van in the Philippine market, and how would you describe the logistics industry these days?
So Ninja Van, we started with e-commerce logistics. Ninja Van across Southeast Asia is one of the leading e-commerce logistics players, and especially in the Philippines, we've been here growing rapidly over the past 6 years. Now, landscape of logistics. So let me take you back, let's say 8 years ago, and if you had something that you needed delivered, or just imagine mail. That wasn't so long ago, 8-10 years ago. The expectation back then, even if you're in Manila, the expectation was what, like 2 weeks before any of your deliveries would be delivered to you. And I guess the e-commerce coming in and growing rapidly really changed a lot of that. Now we have a lot of customers, 1 or 2 days already starts calling, asking where their parcels are. And it's really been a big shift in customer expectations.
Yeah, tsaka if you look at the apps then and on any delivery service, it really says there kung kailan yung expected.
Yes.
And me personally, kayo naglagay dyan.
Definitely. And we're proud that we're a part of that. We're proud that we constantly think about, first of all, how to get there faster, how to design our networks, what kinds of investments and innovations you have to make. So it's really there, number one. But at the same time, on the customer experience front, as you mentioned, diba, ikaw mismo, when you look at your app, you want to know exactly where it is, or how soon it will be arriving. We also, through technology, monitor ourselves so we can perform better and really commit to that promise. So it's been a very aggressive kind of improvement journey that we've been on and that we've been proud to be a part of.
How would you describe competition now? Mas intense ba, or everybody's feeling the inflation pinch, or how's competition?
Well, it's always been intense. And again, inflation, I would dare say, has been felt by a lot of different industries, not just logistics. I think something unique with our brand of logistics, which is e-commerce logistics, was there was a lot of smaller, much smaller players back then. Because e-commerce was really growing, everyone just needed capacity. Everyone just, might try this out, try to see. And right now we're seeing a wave of consolidation because you need some level of scale to be able to operate, to be able to provide that good service. And we're proud to say that we have figured out our way, and we're here and kind of rolling strong.
Now, since ikaw na nag-mention, let me push you further on that point. What did you mean exactly by you found your way in the age of consolidation?
So it's a lot to do with first of all, being very focused on how we serve our customers and serve them well. Right? So constantly innovating, using our technology to always improve. That's front and center, but at the same time, finding a way for your cost structures to meet that, right? You can't, promise something, but then you have to overpay or just spend too much just to serve that promise. So we're proud and happy that we're finding our way in both. But I think more importantly is how we are seeing new customer segments, new market segments that we realize are really underserved. And
such as?
We are finding ways to serve. So, for example, small and medium-sized businesses, even the bigger businesses. So, e-commerce logistics, I think this industry has really served, the e-commerce kind of delivery flow, right? So when you order online, it goes to you, and it goes to you fast, right? And it reaches all parts of the country, right? We realized as we looked further and further, we see a lot of these big businesses of different sizes. They haven't enjoyed this type of logistics, which is really fast, really providing good experience, good service. And so one of our goals is to work with businesses, tell them, this type of logistics that is fast and cost effective and can reach all parts of the nation is also available to you.
Now, before we get into the specifics, pero you mentioned already that if you compare it from 8 years ago, our parcels come to our doorstep much faster. What were the conditions that made it that fast, and do we expect that to be even much faster? And siguro I think yung dagdag ko, I'm pretty sure na there are obstacles pa into making the reality I think the dream of some is like instant.
Yeah.
It's within an hour or two. I mean, meron naman ng ganun, but not for all items. Right? So what are the obstacles?
So obstacles that we had to overcome before, it's really a lot. So first is using our technology to be able to reach many different parts of the country. We are an archipelago. Many different numbers here, but like 7,000 something islands that we all have to reach. And once you, as a company, promise nationwide coverage, you have to figure out how to reach all many different islands. And so figuring out how our technology can be asset light and deployable to many parts of the country, that's one. Another is how we equip our people with the right skills, capabilities to adjust to this new way of logistics. So at the end of the day, even if we have technology, you will still need the people operating it, and people at the end of the day are your most important asset. So you have to figure out how technology marries with people and how we help people adjust to this new way of logistics. So those are, it sounds quite general, but I guess in a nutshell, those are very kind of specific problems we had to solve early on.
Pero how's Ninja Van ba? Kaya na bang mag-deliver from, di ba, from mula Apari hanggang Hulo?
Yes.
Ganun na ba?
Yes, ganun na. So I have this saying nga, we can deliver from Bataan to Bonggao, which is it's a part of Tawi-Tawi that is much closer to Malaysia than is to the rest of the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
So our teams there joke that they can boat to Malaysia, and it's much easier to get to Malaysia than to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have covered all these further islands. And I guess the more important thing there is to keep, while keeping quality and performance high as we spread our reach.
So on that note, any particular targets that you can share right now? Any ambitious targets?
So I unfortunately can't speak much into specific numbers, but I guess
just a hint or there.
we're going to continue growing, especially with the new segments that I mentioned to you. A personal ambition of mine is we expand ourselves in a similar way as we expanded to e-commerce, a similar way to serve businesses, right? I think really in the B2B logistics space, it's a very underserved market. And you can talk about all types of movements. Let's say how businesses resupply their stores, how businesses get their goods, even businesses such as yourselves, and all the stuff that you have to send nationwide. All businesses can get access to our efficient network, and that's an ambition of mine. That pretty soon a lot of businesses understand that.
Now, any technologies that you're deploying? We've been talking about AI, generative AI a lot. Does that have impact in the logistics space? And is it a good thing or a bad thing? How are you dealing with the age of AI? Kasi sa amin dito, medyo we're kind of iffy about it.
So I understand how you guys can be a bit concerned about these developments in AI. For us, I think we're always concentrated on how it helps our customers, right? And whatever technology it might be, so even if it's the most basic of digital interfaces to the most complicated of AI algorithms, we still ground ourselves on will it be useful to our customers. And so the thing is, we have a very strong, robust tech team across the region that always thinks about innovation, small or big, right? So from how we change the customer notifications that you see, all the way to how we design our biggest facilities. Actually, we have one of the largest parcel sorting facilities in Southeast Asia here in the Philippines. We'd love for you guys to visit that. And so I'm proud that Ninja Van is a company that constantly thinks about innovations in many different ways, small or big, and even AI we integrate here and there.
Now, I think another issue that we're seeing is that logistics companies, kapag during the pandemic, parang people were buying stuff online, and now I think there's a behavioral change that people prefer now to go out and check the items themselves. Has that adversely affected you, or or have you found new opportunities?
So, there's this common thinking that once people went out, e-commerce demand died down. But actually, it's still continuing growing and will continue to grow. I think the seeds of e-commerce adoption was planted already. And so, penetration went up, but at the same time, these people learning more about online, then their behaviors shifted as well. They became a bit more open to trying out new platforms, new things, new way of buying things. There have been also trends that popped up even after the pandemic, such as live selling, and how
Yeah,
people
yeah.
consume entertainment and then buy off of that. They also contributed to the growth. So has it adversely affected in very specific ways? Perhaps yes, but take a step back, larger picture. The e-commerce landscape is still growing.
Now, you're a logistics platform na you don't really sell the items mismo, but any observations, ano bang binibili ng tao ngayon? Top items or yeah, I'm quite curious kung ano nang binibili these days.
Actually, so due to data privacy and so technically we're not allowed to know exactly the specifics of the parcels inside, to the extent that the shippers are willing to provide the item description very generally, right? So, but
okay.
With our ever evolving awareness on privacy and how you protect consumers' data, of that we.
Where you know the origin, like where they come
yeah,
from,
certainly. Yeah. As I mentioned to you, live selling has been a very interesting new source of e-commerce. A lot of people are getting into it. As same as with the rest of the world, majority still come from China because they have started this live selling wave. But it's very interesting to see how Filipinos are adopting to it in our own ways. Filipinos, we love to entertain, we love to kind of engage with people. It's very interesting to see how these new social live selling platforms get adopted by Filipinos in our own brand of entertaining ourselves.
Now, on another topic, sustainability. Any thoughts on that? Any plans that you can share these days on your sustainability efforts?
So sustainability. So first of all, on a personal level, I care deeply about sustainability and how really I believe strongly that we have to transition towards a more sustainable future. On the state of sustainability, I'm proud to say we in Ninjavan are working with many different partners, either to use electric vehicles or establish networks of such electric vehicles. We are in partnership with actually many different countries, many different EV providers. Most notably for me is how we can ensure our preparedness in the EBITDA law coming and really allow us to kind of transition this big network, big fleet that we have into sustainable vehicles.
So you're getting into EVs?
Oh yeah, certainly. We are
How soon?
exploring. Oh, we have some already in small scales and phases here. The big challenge really is, first of all, the network, the range, figuring out how far a two-wheeler can go, especially, I was talking about reaching very far areas out in provinces.
And of course, walang charger.
Exactly, right? And so, we're exploring, with different partners, different solutions, and how, for example, batteries can be, swapped and changed up. And so it's a very interesting exploratory phase for us right now.
Do you have a wish list or what do you think are the conditions that will make companies have it easier to shift into more sustainable EVs, I don't know, regulations, incentives? This is your time to
it's a billion-dollar question, to be completely honest with you, because it affects so many. I mean, you can see it also even in the most developed of markets. It starts with consumers. Consumers wanting such EVs. There's also companies adopting to it. As you mentioned, regulation's a big factor here. There's also kind of investor appetite to invest in companies that want to set up these EVs. Then there's also this ever-present problem of the charging network, right? And how it's a chicken or egg problem where without a lot of EVs, not a lot of people set up charging stations or battery swapping stations. But without a lot of battery swapping stations, not a lot of people will buy EVs, right? So it's a very complicated problem, I would dare say. I think it really starts with many different parts of society really helping together, having a concerted effort and saying, okay, let's do this, let's move towards this direction.
And finally, just to close the loop, no, your first question that I asked was your adjustments, being the new country head. Anything that you can share that you have learned so far taking on this new role?
Wow.
Ano ba? Madrama ba?
Yeah,
Or,
no,
yeah,
it's
like just one key learning so that our viewers or any the executives that are watching right now that you can share.
Wow, it's a lot. It's really a lot to learn and grow into. I guess if I were to summarize this, and it's a bit meta, it's really just always being open to learn and understand, whether it's understanding the market, where the market is, what is happening, being open to understanding you might be wrong in some of your insights before, or just really the market has evolved, to how your organization is, to how you are leading and managing and working with your people. It's really your openness to learn and check yourself and learn some more, and having that constant loop of learning.
Now, it's really just, ano ba? Ang dami pang challenges for you, and
Yes,
definitely
yeah.
best of luck, and thanks so much for your time, Vin. I learned a lot, and looking forward to your plans on Ninja Van, and especially on the B2B space, right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Vin Perez, the new country head of Ninja Van Philippines. Now let's continue the discussion about all things about business. Download the Rappler Communities app on your mobile using the QR codes below and join the Money Channel. This has been another episode of Business Sense. I'm Ralph Rivas. Thanks for watching.